it's a fresh start. Look at those skies. It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and today, do this, just behind me up here is Darwen Tower, or Jubilee Tower, and up here is where we're going to be heading. Yep, we're going up onto the moors to do Darwen Tower, or Jubilee Tower, a nice little walk. And currently I am at Ramblers Cafe, where we're going to start, which is where the car park is. And this morning we're going to be following a route from this book, which is Lancashire's Outstanding Circular Walks. It's walk number 8 that we're going to be doing. Can I find it for you? 7, 8. This is the walk here, and this is the route we're going to be following. So we're currently just here, and this is the route, the way we're going to go around the route. We're just over the road from the reservoirs here, Roddlesworth Reservoirs, which I have done in my autumn walks. It's currently Upper Roddlesworth, so we're going to head over the road, head down towards a little bit of the reservoir there, and then it's going to take us up here to Ernsdale Reservoir, through Sunnyhurst Woods a bit, and then up to Darwen Tower, or Jubilee Tower, which is way up there in the distance. I will put a postcode to this car park here, which is where Ramblers Cafe is, so you know where to go. There is 2 lots of parking here, and it's where we'll end up, so we will end up back here next to the cafe, so we can stop for a nice hot drink when we're done. But if you do have this book, it is walk number 8, and all the information is in the book, so you can just follow it. If you see this video and you want to do it, it is in here. And I do want to do more walks in this book. I've had it a while and not really done them, so we're going to cross over the road in a minute and get this walk started, head towards the reservoirs. I believe it's 4 miles this walk, or just 4 and a bit miles, and as you can tell behind me with the big hill up onto the moors, it is going to be a bit of a uphill climb in some parts, but that's what makes it fun. Loads of excited dogs just in the car park behind me. So without further ado, let's get going. So as you can see behind me, Real Arms Pub. Well, don't know if it's still a pub or just a house, but it has the old pub sign up there. If it is a house now, it says the Royal Arms. However, I've just crossed the road. There's a gate just behind me, the path. So you're just going to follow this path now. We're going to head down towards Upper Roddlesworth Reservoir, and then probably back up to join that road that we was just on. To make this walk a bit shorter, you could stay on the road, go straight that way. According to my book, this is the way we're going to go. This is part of the walk that it says in there. So we've just come to a little fork in the road, if you will. There's a bench behind me, path off up to the left. Just going to head down to the right now and straight down towards the bottom where these gentlemen are coming up from. So this is the path we want to follow, and we're going to go all the way down there and down to the bottom. So I've just come down from the car park where we was, come to the fence sign, and I've turned right. And just behind me is Roddlesworth Reservoir, at least one of them. Can't remember if it's upper or lower, so don't hold me to that. However, I did walk around both of these reservoirs in full as part of my Lancashire's Best Autumn Walks series of videos I did. So if you want to see these reservoir walks in full, then make sure you check out that video, because these walks on their own are a fantastic walk to do. However, we're not doing that today. but with it being part of this Darwen Tower walk, couldn't resist coming down here. I'm really glad it's part of the walk. It is one of my favourite spots to come to. However, on today's walk, I'm just looking at my book here, it says turn right here onto a broad path, which I'm currently stood on. As I said, I've turned right at the fence line. It says still the Woods and Water Trail. Now I never knew this was called the Woods and Water Trail unless this part of the walk is. It says then after 220 yards branch right at a fork into a gently rising path. As I just look above here, I can see two paths. One is the path I'm on. It seems to be the lower path on the left hand side, and there is another path heading upwards which is on the right. So I'm guessing this is the path that I take. And then it says gradually curving to the right and climbing a little more steeply with open fields on the left, finally emerging onto the road. So I'm guessing I'm going to head on that path, and now I've walked all the way down, I'm going to walk all the way up. But it was definitely worth it to get a glimpse of Roddleworth Reservoir, but it's not the only reservoir we're going to be passing today. Anyway, this makes life a lot easier. For now, let's head on. We've just come to the top of that hill there, and it did get steep towards the top. Look at this view behind us. But we are back up by the road now. So that was a pretty steep descent to get that view of the reservoir, which I was happy about. And then we are now come to the top where the road is, and just sticking to our guide here. Right, okay, let's see where we are. Steep open. Right, here we go. Emerging at the road, go left for 220 yards, go right up a walled track that forms part of Witten Waves Way. Keep forward at the crossroads and then descend steeply. Descent steeply with a selection of old paving towards Ernsdale Reservoir. Now, after walking up that hill, that doesn't sound, it doesn't fill me with confidence. Descent steeply. So we are back on the road, and there is a path where we started. It's just down there. So what I'm going to do now, as it says, feels on you, emerging on the road, go left for 220 yards, which is in this direction. So just up the road here, there is a bit of a farmhouse. Actually, I can see a sign pointing off to the right. And again, we're just walking along the side of this field here. We're getting a lovely view over there. And actually, if I flip the camera around and I look towards the other side, don't know if you'll pick this up, but Darwen Tower is just there, where we will eventually head up. But considering we're on a weather warning for tomorrow, Sunday, the 23rd of February, and I'm glad I've come out today to do this walk. So I'm going to head up here now to where this farmhouse is. Like I said, I can see a little marker pointing me right, which it tells me to turn right there, and then we're going to descend steeply and stay on that track and head towards Ernsdale Reservoir. As the cars go past, I'll get a bit more footage and I'll get back to you. Now I've just come to the crossroad, I believe. The path here just behind me. Sorry, I can't see very well because of the sun. There's a path here just behind me, just up there, and as it says, straight on now is where we're heading down here, and I believe it's going to take us out at that reservoir. So if I flip the camera around, you'll get a better idea of what I mean. We've just come down here. It looks like the path does go off to the left a bit there, but straight on through this little arch, you can see that there are the paving stones there, if you will, and from this point you can also see that there is a reservoir here and the path going straight along. So it looks like when we get down to the bottom, it will be a tarmacked path heading straight up and around that way. While we're here, a lovely view, reservoir here, and then Darwen Tower all the way up on that massive hill over there that I have to walk up. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. The closer I get, the bigger that hill's looking. However, we are here, and like I was just saying, this particular route is offering some fantastic views from all angles of Darwen or Jubilee Tower. So I think that's why this particular route, for the many you can do around here, has been chosen in this book, just for all the different views you get featuring the tower. Anyway, enough chitter chatter, let's continue on. So, as you can see, I descended down the path. I've not done a good job because the sun's in my eyes, so pardon me, I've got the sun's in my eyes. I descended down the path. It was quite steep. I tried to get some of it on film for you to see. So just be careful. Obviously appropriate footwear is advised for when you're doing any walks, but it's just a bit uneasy on the foot, so just be careful, especially this time of year with it being wet. But yeah, we descended down there, we've crossed the reservoir, got a little bit of footage of that to show you, and we've stayed on that tarmac road all the way up to the point where you can see now. We're currently now at point A here. So from where we started this morning, we've done where we started here, apologies for this, we started here, we've done all this area, and we've come up to point A here. So we have done this area here, sorry. It's not the easiest to show you on the, because I have to look at the camera and then look at them. What I will say though, just to keep in mind, so I don't know if I made a wrong turn, which I don't know how because I've been following the guide, or whether it's been removed since then. But since the reservoir, so it said steeply with a section of old paving towards Ernsdale Reservoir. Crossing the dam, swing left at the end, which I did. Follow the lane to the right until it swings left once more. So we went left, went right, and then it did go up on the steep, and then we went around to the right and stayed on it. And it does say crossing a cattle grid. Now I never crossed a cattle grid, so I don't know if I've took a wrong turn or cattle grids. I definitely didn't cross one, so I don't know if it's since been removed since this has been, but just bear that in mind if you're looking out for it like I was. But I don't know how I could have gone wrong, but it wasn't there. However, it says go left up the lane and just after a house. Now this is why I've stopped here at point A. As you can see, the house is behind me, and I've come up from that direction, so I definitely have not gone wrong, because the house has come up on my left. And then it says you can bear right up a concrete track. As the track bends right, go left through the gap in an aluminium barrier. Now I faced it this way to show you the house, but as I look here, and this is the road I've come on, just off to the right here there is a track, and I can see a fence with a little passing point through it, so I'm definitely in the right location. So in regards to the cattle grid, I don't know if it's since been removed or what's happened, but I definitely didn't pass one. However, if you are following this and you are thinking the same as me, you go over the dam, you go around to the left, and then you're looking out for a cattle grid, it doesn't seem to be there. But I have come up to the house on my left, and just in front of me now, which is right off the main track, is the I can see the road going around to the right, and I can see the barrier in the fence. So that's the road I'm going to go on, through the barrier and a level path towards an old quarry. So that sounds interesting. So we're going to head up towards the old quarry and the path that we need to take. So fun. So I've just followed the track up, as I said. I went through the little side gate, through the barrier there, and we've just followed this road up. No need to walk through the field. And as it says here, right, as the track bends around to the right, go left through the gap in the aluminium barrier. So the track is going to bend around to the right here, and just behind me there's the gap there. So as you come to the top of this road here, just here, there's a gap that we can now go down, and probably best flipping the camera around to show you, and then we're going to head off on the level track towards an old quarry, as it says in the book. So we just walked up, gate we came through down there, stayed on this road here, and there you go. There's the gap. You can't really miss it. You're coming from this direction, so it is big enough, and it is just as the road bends around to the right. We're going to go off to the left. This is the track we want to be on, heading towards the old quarry. So we just cut across the field. I didn't bother getting much footage because it wasn't too far, and it was a bit adventurous to say the least. With all the rainfall we've had, I didn't want to slip and drop my camera because it was fairly slippy. However, we did come to the end of it. Was just basically cutting across a field, and we've turned right and just headed up a bit, which is where we are now. And as I just read from the book here, aluminium barrier. Go through the aluminium barrier, which we did on a level path towards an old quarry. So that's where we just cut across. As this is reached, go up right on a stony track, which we are currently on, and it says above a gate, keep left where it forks. A gate on the left, flanked by fine flagstones, gives a good view of the town of Darwen, dominated by the India Mill chimney. So just behind me is the gate, and just further afield is where the road forks off to the left and the right. So I'm just going to head up there now. So once you've come up, it is just turn right, and then we're heading straight up, and there are two paths here. One which is basically just straight up, and there is one that is going off to the right, but it just looks like it's more of a shorter route towards Jubilee Tower itself. However, according to our book, it has told us to stay left, which is what we're going to do, so we can get the views of Darwen and the India Mill Chimney, if I'm saying that right. Because why not? That's what makes this walk part of Lancashire's Outstanding Circular Walks to do. So just a short distance, this is where we want to stay. Rather than taking that path off to the right there, we're just going to stick straight on and straight up and get these views. Let's continue on then. It's only halfway. It's only halfway. Now, what is the point in this, really? Like, what is the point? Could be at home. Could be at home chilling out, resting. Why do I do this? Why do I do this to myself? There's no need. I'm going back. I'm going back. It's not worth it. I'm going back. It's not worth it. I can't. So, finally made it to the top. Got a bit emotional back there, I must admit. But, stand to one side. Look at that view. Darwen behind us. Now, we are at the back of Jubilee Tower, Darwen Tower. Just because at the front it is a bit of a wind tunnel. There's a lot of wind at the front there, and I have set my microphone up so if the audio is a bit different, it's because I've got my microphone set up just underneath my jacket. But the wind, it is very windy up here, which I thought it would be. Normally on a summer's day it's very windy up here, never mind on a day like today. We did have a bit of a breeze down near the reservoirs, so yeah. However, we are here, we did make it, we are at the top. We're not quite at our next location, which is point B, but we're not far from it either. So we did stuck to the left hand path, went straight up, and we did get them views of Darwen and after the mill, which are currently right behind me down there. But look at that view. I did take a time lapse as well while I was at the trig point, so I'll either put that before this segment or put it afterwards. But it does say here now, good thing about these books as well, obviously a little bit of information about Darwen Tower itself, or what walk you're doing, it does have information. But it does say construction of Darwen Tower began in the 1897, the year after the success of the access struggle, which by chance was also the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria. The building was opened in 1898. There are 65 wide stone steps and then 16 iron ones, leading to a small glass house on the top. The tower did fall into some decay during the middle of the 20th century, but was restored in the 1970s with funds from the public appeal. The view is wide range, especially to the north. However, I do know, since this book has been published, I suppose, don't hold me to this, but it might have been 2002, 2003, it has been under construction again, because there was a lot of scaffolding around it, so they have been doing work on it since then. So since the 70s it then again has had work on it. However, the stone steps it was talking about is obviously inside where we're going to head to next, and we're going to go right up to the top and show you the view there. I believe it is 85 feet tall. I don't know if it says that here in this book, but there is information out there on the internet, and I did read that it was 85 foot in height. I don't know if I've read that this morning on the internet or if that's come from this book, but we are going to go to the top and we'll get them views, and then we'll head back, I think it says past the trig point. From the tower, go past the trig point and along the broad path above the steeper slope that falls to Sunnyhurst Hay Reservoir. So there's not actual long left now on here. I'll just give you a close-up look. So we're past point A, well, we're currently here. This, I'm guessing it won't be too far of a walk to this point B, and then this part back down to the car park is actually all downhill, as this part over here was all uphill, so we do have to go down. And I will say, I'll get it from when we go up, but when I did get up here, even though I've not ascended up the tower yet, pardon me, I can see the whole route that I've walked so far. From where we are, I can see the whole route that we've walked so far. I can see the reservoir, I can see the car park, I can see the reservoirs we dropped down to. I can also see the house that we walked past off the road, and I can see this reservoir here, all from this location already. It's like looking at this map, sorry, this one, just a live view, so the view is it's outstanding, and obviously everywhere else you can see, but I'll speak more about that when we get to the top. So for now, let's do, did they say it was X amount of stone steps? 65 stone steps and then 69 ones, so let's tackle that. So we're just going to head in to the stairwell now. Now, what did I say? 65 stone steps and then 69 ones. I cannot remember. However, once we get to a bit of light, I'll show you, which we're coming to now. So it is a spiral staircase. All the way up. So this is the first, if you want to go out here, depending on the height you want to go to, that is the first stop, I suppose. But however, we're going to go all the way to the top, because I'm guessing that's the highest point, which would offer the best views. God, these stairs are doing me in already. So all the way to the top we go. Here we go. Looks like they get, these iron ones are even narrower than the ones we've just been up, which they are. Right. Here we go. This is a narrow, I feel like I'm going to hit my head. It's very narrow. However, if you're not good with heights, I wouldn't suggest coming up. My oh my. Now you might get a bit of wind on the microphone still. It's very blustery. However, we are at the top. We are at the top. I knew it was going to be high. Oh, wow. Wow, oh, wow. I didn't think it'd be that high. So that trig point looks tiny now. All the way down there is the trig point. That is the bottom of the tower. Whoa, that's high. Again, apologise if you're picking up a load of that wind noise, but can't be helped. So that's where we started. There's the car park. That wooded area is the first reservoir we dropped to. Just there is the house. That's the field we walked across and down to that reservoir there. and then this area in front of us is where we've walked along that field and up, so you can see the whole of the route that we've walked so far. I can also see Preston as clear as day just here. However, I'm not picking up a Blackpool. Blackpool's just out of view, just being covered. I will zoom in a bit for you to show you. So Blackpool would be over there. Can't really make it out. I don't even know if you can make out Preston. However, I can see Preston's clear as day. Can even see the footy ground of Preston there. And then, but from this location, we can definitely make out Blackburn along there. Can even see the motorway heading off towards Yorkshire. Darwen here, probably a better view of that mill chimney than from where we was. Chimney, if I'm saying it right. And then I'll zoom out, back out, and we'll just come around to the back end here to show you the moors. We're up on the moors. Plenty of walking routes. I mean, there's so many different ways you could get to the tower. And so many different ways you can walk, whether you're heading back down to Roddlesworth Reservoir like I did, or further afield off to Winter Hill. There's so many different walking routes around here. We are at the top now. What does this say here, if I can read it properly? It says, this dome was donated to the town of Darwen by Stephen Hartley's company, the WEC Group. The previous dome, which was manufactured with a wood structure in 1971, was blown off by high winds in 2010. Right, so there you go. I'm not surprised. Hardly any wind when we started today yet. It's blowing a hoolie up here. So now we're going to head off that path and way beyond yonder, all the way along there. It's going to be windy. I don't think it'll be as windy as it is now, but I'll keep the microphone on just in case. So that is Darwen Tower just behind me. Now we're going to head off past the trig point and to the left, just like it says in the book, and continue on this walk. But yeah, very windy, a bit of cloud cover towards the coastal line, so we couldn't see Blackpool, but however, fantastic place to visit, plenty of great views, well kept as well actually. Obviously a lot of people visit in here now because it's very popular, but highly recommended if you've never been before. It's really worth it, and doing that walk and getting all the views as you're looking at it from what to actually being here, yeah, very nice. Perfect place to stop on any day really. Sit down, have a sandwich, taking the views, and obviously from the backside taking the views of the moors. But let's continue on now along this path and to our next location. What I've noticed is if you've come to the part where it says turn left here, it's clearly going left. There is a gap in the fence here. Now, as a lot of you know, you probably wouldn't take that as it doesn't really look official. so I'm not going to go through there, but I don't want anyone to get confused, because just here, now I don't know if that's been used as a shortcut, but if you just ignore that first turning, just here, I'm guessing this is what they mean by the stone waypoint, and this looks more of an official path through the what once was a gate or fence, I suppose. It's also marked with the Lancashire Way marks, and it is more of a forward. So this route down here should take me down towards the ruined cottage, as it said, but I'm going to stick with this path because I believe this is the path we're meant to be on. So I wouldn't use that first one. I think someone's just used it maybe as a shortcut to go down, but it doesn't look official. It just doesn't look like a path that we're on. So stick to this one. Just here, there's a little stone way mark, Lancashire Way route. So we're going to head down now, and this should swing us down and around to the ruined cottage, which will be nice to see. Now, I didn't see a cottage ruin or ruins of a cottage or any sort of cottage, so I don't know if that was once there and is now not. It does say though, from the top, head down the path to a ruined cottage. Like I said, I don't know if a cottage used to be there and it's now not there. If I haven't seen it, if you can't make it out anymore, who knows. However, it does say do not cross the stile lower down, but instead go left down to a stile beside a gate. Now this path is the one behind me where it's telling you to go left, and it is a bit treacherous, as you can see. I'm guessing over time it's been washed away and water running down the hill, but it does tell you to come out here. However, if you don't want to take that path because it is a bit treacherous, if you just stay to the right and go 20-30 yards or so, just there or thereabouts, there are some stone steps that bring you out at the bottom, which I took because I didn't fancy walking down there. So in the book it does say don't head across the lower stile, instead go left down the side beside the gate, which is in front of me. Go left on the track that soon swings right up through the woods. So I've come out here. This is the gate, the style that it tells you to go through, but the path behind me has been washed away a bit. I did choose to go down the stone steps instead. So when I got to that point from up there, it did look very adventurous. I stuck to the right, I just went 30 yards or so, and there are stone steps there. However, it has pretty much brought me out in the same location. There's a bridge here, and then it's going to swing around to the right and take me up through the woods there. So yeah, it swings around to the right, up through the woods, as it levels out past to the right of a pair of gates and continue to descend forwards to a row of houses, if I read that right. So anyway, it's entirely up to you if you want to stick to the book, but I just think that that path has been washed away a bit over time with water running off down the hill and whatnot. But stick to the right, just do the extra 20-30 yards, go down the stone steps. It's a lot safer, and it pretty much brings you out in the same location. However, it could be a little bit confusing reading this and then thinking I don't want to go down there, now what do I do? Yeah, just could do that extra distance. So we're going to head up through the woods now on our final leg back to the car park. Just followed the path up to the right through the little wooded area. So we've got one gate there and one gate there. We're actually at the last little bit now. So as it levels out, past to the right of a pair of gates. Now, pair of gates. We're going to take this one over here to the right, and it says, and continue to descend towards a row of houses. A lane just left of these leads to a road. Go back past the bus turning area and to the car park. So it's just, we're on the last paragraph, last 3 or 4 lines of the book. So once you get here, 2 gates in front of you, stick to the right. Looks like it goes off through this field, which I'm going to show you. One to the right, which is this one here, off towards the field, and it's going to take us back to the car park. So I'm going to do this last bit now. I guess I'll see you back at the car. There you have it. That was Darwen Tower, Russellworth Reservoirs, walk number 8, book, if I can get to it. Darwen Moor. Done and done. Lancashire's Outstanding Circular Walks. I enjoyed it, to be honest. It was a great walk. Book made it relatively easy, actually, pretty straightforward. I don't know if I made it more complicated or worse than it was, maybe confusing people, but it was straightforward, to be honest. And yeah, I'd definitely do another one out of here. I've had the book a while and don't use it as much as I should, but you can pick these up from any local bookstore, I would imagine, or online. It's definitely worth it. I have done a few out of here, obviously, but I just, like I said, don't use it as much as I should. So today I decided to follow the book and do it, and it was a good walk. It's currently about midday now, 12 o'clock, so 4 miles, 4 hours at 1 mile an hour walking. Nice and easy pace. I did stop at the top, obviously, and stopping in locations to get footage, which slows it down, but on average 2 hours maybe walking, start to finish, depending on how fast you walk or not. But it was a great walk. I would highly recommend it. I hope this video has done it some justice. I don't get up to Darwen Tower as much as I should, but there are plenty of other walking routes in this area. But as for today, that's that. So thank you again for joining me. I hope to see you on the next video. Maybe going forward in the future we will do more out of this book. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you enjoyed me doing this particular style, obviously following the book and doing the walk and reading through it as I go. Then let me know, but if not, then I'll just wing it as I normally do, even though I sort of winged it with this walk, but easier with that. So there you go. It is getting very busy now. I don't think you can see Darwen Tower, but it is there beyond the wall. For now, I'm going to grab myself maybe a brew to warm my cockles and a sandwich before I head back home. But again, thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more of this content. And I'll see you next month when we're going to be doing something a little different but the same. See you then.